Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing good today. Just out here in the yard taking a little break from the Fish the Moment lake map breakdowns I've been doing today. And man, it's really nice out, 60 degrees, and I am so ready for summer, man. I'm ready to get in shorts and t-shirts and get out of these hooded sweatshirts all the time. But hey, just wanted to take a few minutes today. I wanted to do this video. I've been thinking about it for the last couple of weeks, and I sort of want to address the situation that I've seen on some of the comments of my channel and also on Fish the Moment's channel, sort of put this topic to rest a little bit. And one of the things before I get into it, I'll start saying about social media. I don't care if it's YouTube or Facebook or whatever. Anytime that you have an opinion on something, you're going to have your critics to it. And that's just part of it. I mean, if you're going to do stuff like what we do on social media, you sort of have a thick skin, because there's always people out there that just like to, make waves or whatever. So one of the topic I want to talk about today is I've seen some comments every time that, like myself, I do a lot of bait modifications, tips and that type of stuff. And there'll inevitably, once in a while, there'll be some person on there saying, well, if you're such a great teacher, Randy, why haven't you won more tournaments? That type of stuff. Just sort of a smart aleck comment. And also with Jonny, since the fact Jonny is young, he's 25 years old, sometimes somebody may question, his experience level being 25. So I'm going to address both of these topics, and I'm going to put them to bed once and for all, sort of give you guys, my opinion on it, because I certainly think it needs to be addressed. But first of all, when you're talking about teaching, teaching somebody to fish like that, it doesn't have anything to do with your career stats or your background or anything like that. I mean, some of the best teachers in whatever sports may not have been that great of competitors. You look at some of the greatest, baseball coaches, football coaches, whatever, they may have been, marginal players themselves or not even played at one time. So when you're being a teacher and a competitor at the same time, the value that comes for that teaching doesn't have any correlation with what that person was with a competitor. Now, for example, I'll talk a little bit about Jonny first, and I'll go into myself here. I've known Jonny since he was 8 years old, and Jonny when he was 8 years old, he knew more about fishing than most people do when they're 50 years old. He was one of those just gifted kids when he was young, as far as just a sponge for information, super passionate about it. Throughout his, youth years up until he was in his early teens, he won about every type of youth competition and fishing that there was, casting competitions, tournaments, whatever, dominating force during that, period of his life. And now, that Jonny's 25 years old like that, he has simply made the conscious choice not to pursue fishing professionally. It has nothing to do with his ability to compete on tour, because I can assure you guys right now, and I know better than anybody because I've done this for 35 years. I'm friends with most all the top pros out there. I've been around them my whole life. I understand what it takes to do well in the sport. Jonny could be a superstar in the sport if he chose to compete and be in those tournaments, but he prefers, his passion lies within teaching, and he's very gifted at that. So from that standpoint, I want to assure you guys that Jonny Schultz is a world-class level angler as far as, just fishing goes. His ability to decipher and basically communicate information, especially on offshore structure fishing electronics. There's nobody better in this country, in my opinion. I'd put Jonny Schultz up against anybody in this country, professional or otherwise, in his ability to catch and locate fish offshore. So, from that standpoint, it's I've just seen it myself. And if you don't believe me, Jonny and I last year, we had, we did these challenges for fishthemoment.com where we go out and Jonny, we basically fish a tournament against each other. Jonny would fish offshore all the time, and I'd fish shallow most of the time. And out of maybe 10 shows that we did last year, Jonny beat me 9 out of the 10 times that we fished. I've, like I said, I've done this for 35 years, and I know what it takes to do well in tournaments, and he's beat me like a drum 9 out of 10 tournaments. So any guys out there that thinks that Jonny Schultz is not a top level world-class angler, come over and get you some. Put up your money against him and fish, because I promise you he'll take it away from you more times than not. So from that standpoint, like I said, Jonny is a gifted teacher. He's a gifted instructor. That's his passion, and everybody out there, including myself, is fortunate to have him share the information and expertise he has. He's a student of the sport. He studies it. He's unbelievably intelligent, and like I said, he's chosen to take the path of teaching and not competing. For myself, I hear all the time too, I'll get comments on my YouTube channel from, not all the time, but from some people out there. I'm putting out all this knowledge and this teaching and information, and inevitably some dude will come out there and say, well, I looked at your stats and you've only won 2 tournaments, and you've been fishing all this year, and so what do you got? It just doesn't equate to what you're teaching out there. Well, like I said, I fished professionally since the 1980s. I've qualified for 18 Bassmaster Classics, Sportswood Cups. I've won 2 Bassmaster Top 150s tournaments. I've won almost $2 million competitively fishing. So, from that standpoint, I paid my dues in the sport. On top of that, and I just want to address this. I'm not trying to pump my own horn here, but I'm trying to address this particular issue. I've actually had 6 tournaments that I've actually won on Bassmaster FLW. I've had 3 tournaments that before they changed the format to cumulative weight, they used to have a deal where you fish 2 days, they cut to 0, you fish 1 day, and they cut to 0. It wasn't a cumulative weight tournament. I've had 3 different FLW tournaments where I would have won those tournaments had it been cumulative weight, and I also would have won 2 Bassmaster Megabucks tournament if it wasn't the old hole formats where you started from 0. If it was cumulative weight, I'd have won those 2 tournaments there. So in actuality, in my own mind, I know I've caught enough fish to win 6 or 7 Bassmaster tournaments. So but that's the whole point. What we're talking here, that's not the point out there. You can't, the anglers out there that are trying to make a point that they're questioning our ability based upon the performance we had. You can do that. I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. But the thing that Jonny and I are trying to do is we're sharing information. We're sharing with you the experiences we had. The experiences I've had on the water have taken me 40 years to learn. This isn't something that I just came up with yesterday. I'm sharing information with you guys that has taken me decades of blood, sweat, and tears, personal hardships, financial hardships, everything that goes with it to gather this hard-earned information that's taken 40 years. So, from that standpoint, it doesn't really make any difference on, if I've ever won a penny in the sport or not. I mean, if you can take the information that I give you, and if it helps you guys catch some more fish, that's all I'm asking for. And the same with Jonny out there. So anyway, I just wanted to address that, guys. Like I said, I've had a few people, question that a little bit, and I'm not trying to, talk anybody in or out of listening to what Jonny and I put out there. We're both passionate about what we're doing. We're passionate about growing Fish the Moment, working with Jonny, and passionate about growing my own channel here. One of the things I will say about that is that you're not going to get a lot of the information that Jonny and I are providing you from professional anglers, because most professional anglers they're not willing to share that information. I don't care who they are, but in my own case, my career is transitioning. I'm still a competitive angler. I still fish the tournaments. I still love fishing the tournaments, but I'm shifting my energies more into the teaching part of it now. So, from that standpoint, anytime you do that, anytime you start shifting your energies away from competition, you know, you're going to lose that edge a little bit. I mean, that's just part of it. And that's another thing that comes with doing this sport for a long time. As you get older, you know, you have different priorities. You have family obligations, you have family priorities. You've experienced so many hard knocks and failures that every time you do that, it takes a little bit of that intensity and the newness and the excitement away from competition. And that's the natural progression. But, you know, for me, I've been really, really fortunate enough to be able to, you know, partner up with Jonny at Fish the Moment and, you know, sort of transition into this teaching. What I'm doing with my own YouTube channel, you know, I've been able to transition into this teaching. And that's what, you know, is really fun for me to do right now. So anyway, like I said, you know, there's going to be some critics out there that, you know, try to equate Jonny and mine's ability to share and you know, to communicate information based upon specifically our you know, our past performance criteria. And if that's how you base the value of our information, you know, there might be another channel that's better for you guys. But if you guys, you know, want some honest, you know, passionate, focused information that I guarantee will help you catch some more fish, you know, come over and join us at fishthemoments.com, you know, on my channel too, Intuitive Angling, and we'll do the best we can to help you out. So anyway, just wanted to address that, guys. Hope you all are doing well. And again, thanks to everybody for watching and subscribing to both fishthemoment.com, Fish the Moment Live, my channel. It's just the support and feedback we get is just really overwhelming. And I'm looking forward to continuing it, you know, for many, many years down the road. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. We'll talk to you later. See you.